Proverbs chapter 1 verse 10 offers a stern warning to its readers. My son, if sinners entice you, do not consent. This directive is a pivotal moment in the early chapters of Proverbs, as it shifts from general advice about the value of wisdom to specific counsel on resisting the lure of negative influences. This verse begins with a personal and direct address, my son, which conveys not only a sense of intimacy and care, but also responsibility. The speaker assumes a protective stance, typical of a parental figure, warning of a common and dangerous scenario that young people may face. The advice given here is rooted in a keen awareness of the social pressures that can lead individuals astray. The term sinners in this context refers broadly to individuals who live in contradiction to the wisdom and moral guidelines espoused in the earlier verses. These are not merely individuals who make mistakes, as all humans do, but those who actively engage in behaviors that are harmful to themselves and others. Their lifestyle is characterized by a rejection of the moral order that the wisdom literature upholds. The phrase, if sinners entice you, suggests a situation where there is active and perhaps aggressive recruitment to join in on wrongful deeds. The use of the word entice indicates a seduction, a deliberate attempt to allure someone into a trap that appears appealing but is ultimately destructive. It captures the subtlety and often the charm that accompanies temptation, making it especially dangerous to the unwary or the ungrounded. Do not consent is a command that reinforces the need for personal agency and moral resolve. It implies that the individual has the power to refuse, to say no, despite the pressures that may come from peers or society at large. This is an empowering message, as it places the responsibility for moral decisions squarely on the shoulders of the individual. It encourages one to exercise discernment and to stand firm against the tide of enticements that life invariably presents. This counsel is not merely a call to avoid wrongdoing, but an invitation to actively choose a path defined by integrity and wisdom. It highlights the importance of decision-making in moral development. Every decision to refuse wrongdoing reinforces one's character and deepens one's commitment to a life of virtue. Moreover, this verse serves as a stark reminder of the constant presence of temptation in human life. It acknowledges that no one is immune to the allure of sin, and therefore vigilance and moral courage are indispensable qualities for navigating life successfully. The reality of enticement is ever present, but so is the capability to resist it. In a broader sense, this advice also encourages a proactive stance towards developing and maintaining a supportive environment. It implicitly warns against naively placing oneself in situations where the likelihood of enticement is high. This might involve choosing friendships and social circles that support one's moral commitments rather than undermine them. The application of this verse is as relevant today as it was in the ancient world. In the modern context, enticements can come in numerous forms: peer pressure, media influences, and the various temptations of a consumer-driven culture. The call to not consent is a call to critical engagement with the world, to a discerning interaction with the forces that shape modern life. Ultimately, verse 10 underscores the principle that true wisdom involves recognizing the dangers of moral compromise and possessing the courage to resist them. It calls each person to a life of moral autonomy and vigilance, encouraging an active and discerning participation in one's moral development. By choosing wisely who we associate with and what influences we allow into our lives, we are better equipped to live lives that are not only personally fulfilling, but also beneficial to the community at large. This approach to life builds a strong, virtuous character, setting a foundation for enduring success and well-being.